Today we're gonna do a chug battle to find out which is the ultimate 90s death metal amplifier. What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Taylor. If you are not familiar with what a chug battle is, it's when I plug in different pieces of gear and we compare them head to head in a chug royale. And today what I thought would be kind of fun is plugging in the classic 90s death metal amplifiers that I've had on my channel. If you're not familiar, you didn't see those videos, I will link them down in the description below. But we are starting out here with the Ampeg VH140c. We will also look at the Marshall 8100 and the Crate GX130C. So let's start off here with the VH140c. I'm just gonna quickly recap on these amplifiers just so that way we're familiar with them before we shoot them out at the end of the video. We are on channel A because why would you even want to use channel B? This is what it sounds like at noon. And right away with the VH140c, the first thing you'll notice is it is loud. This is a perfect segue into today's sponsor, Eargasm. Look, I want to level with you guys here. The older I get, the more apparent the damage to my hearing becomes. This is from years of not wearing earplugs when I was younger and not so great at making lifelong choices. My main reason for not wearing earplugs was they make everything sound like this. That's just not the case anymore. You don't need to shove soft pieces of foam in your ear and only partially experience your favorite concert or even your band rehearsal. Eargasm has several different styles of earplugs like the squishy ones that I mentioned before. They also have diver/aviation style earplugs, but the ones that I really like are these high fidelity earplugs. These attenuate, that's a fancy word for make quieter, the sound by up to 21 decibels, which is plenty for going to a concert or having band practice or something like that. But the real kicker with these is that they reduce the noise level and leave the clarity of whatever sound you are trying to experience intact while also protecting your ear holes. I use this carrying case that they come with on my keyring, and I carry these things around with me everywhere. I actually use them quite a bit while I'm driving around listening to mixes in my car so I can crank up my car stereo and not worry about ear fatigue when I get back to mixing my studio later on. And that actually sounds more embarrassing now that I'm saying it out loud. They come in 4 different colors, and I like these gold ones, and I don't know, they just look nice. They use hypoallergenic soft silicone, and since they are so small and discreet, you don't have to look like this just to protect your hearing. In all seriousness, your hearing is a valuable asset and protecting it is incredibly important. It's something I wish I would have started doing much sooner, and regardless of what you choose to stick in your ears, I just wanted to take this opportunity to share my experience with you and hopefully save some of you, especially my younger viewers, any unnecessary hearing loss in the future. Unless you like this sound. If you do want to check out Eargasm, you can use the code in my description and save 10% and help out the channel in the process. It's really a win-win for everyone. Okay, back to the chug battle. So now that my ears are protected, let's rip this thing here. So a hot tip that I got from one of my friends is that this amp is sort of always scooped. Like even with the mids all the way at 100%, it's just, you know, slightly scooped in the mids, which is synonymous with 90s death metal, if we're being honest. Like some people like to rock it down really, really low and have it super scooped. I actually like it with the mids up a lot. And then let's put in some of that beefy low end. And dude, you can see even with the gain at noon, there's plenty of saturation. I think it sounds good right about there. Actually might rock that gain back just a little bit. My watch is notifying me that I'm in a loud environment, but my watch doesn't know I have Eargasm earplugs in. Okay, I'll stop now. I mean, look how loud this thing is. You know, the level is like at 1. It is just so freaking loud, man. Okay, now let's take a look at the next contender in this Chug Battle series, the Marshall Valvestate Model 8100. Okay, next we're gonna look at this Marshall Valvestate Model 8100, made popular by bands like Death and 𝗦𝗮𝗃. The list goes on and on and on. Static X. The thing that's really cool about this amplifier is it does actually have a tube in the preamp section. So it's sort of like a hybrid amplifier. Even though most of the amplifier is solid state, it does have a tube in the preamp section. The other two amplifiers are completely solid state. If that matters to you, just thought you should know. The other thing that's kind of cool is this amp has a contour knob in addition to just the normal tone stack controls, and I will show you how that comes in play here in just a second. We're on Overdrive 2, which is the high gain channel on this amplifier. I'm not gonna be comparing any of the other channels. If you want more information on those, just go down to the description, watch the other videos, and then come back here to see which one wins the Chug Battle. Okay, this is what it sounds like. It sounds like nothing. Oh, it's not plugged in. Huh. So you do need to plug this into your cabinet if you want sound to come out of it. That's important. This amplifier sounds a little bit like more mid-focused. It definitely doesn't have nearly the, I mean, you can look, the bass is all the way up right there. It doesn't have the amount of low end that the other amplifiers do, which to me is sort of like synonymous with 90s death metal tone. Big low end, having like really sharp, shrill top end and just like scooped mids that aren't really there. It's the 90s sound, right? But right now it sounds more akin to Marshall's other offering of amplifiers, but we can take this contour knob here and start to really death metal it up. If we go all the way to the right, I mean, we are full Florida death metal sound. Whereas if we go to the left, if we go all the way to the left, we get like a big drop off in the presence, but I think there's a sweet spot here where we're sort of cutting off the shrillness of the top end. Like right in there. And then we can come back on the treble and the mids. Turn our volume up to compensate and turn the gain way, way up because this amp doesn't have nearly the amount of gain as the others. Okay, so in my opinion, the 8100 has sort of the most pleasing sound out of all of these amplifiers. I think that this would really benefit from putting a boost in front of it, but for the sake of time of this video, I'm not gonna boost these amplifiers. I'm just showing you the raw tones out of each. Like I said, if you wanna see more in-depth videos on these amplifiers, just check the description. I will link them down there and you can hear it with a boost to your heart's content. Okay, let's check out the next amplifier in this Chug Battle, and that is going to be the Crate GX130C. Let's do it. Okay, last on the list, we have the Crate GX130C. A lot of people refer to this amp as the poor man's VH140c, which sort of makes sense because they're very similar amplifiers in their layout, pretty similar in their sound. They were both made by St. Louis Music Company. I think it's St. Louis Music Company in the 90s out of the same factory. So, you know, it makes sense that people would compare the two. But let's see if they sound the same. And just for full, it sounds like thunderstorms. And just for full transparency, my concern when using this amplifier and shooting a video is always like, is it gonna make it through the whole video? Because it does act weird sometimes. So let's see if it works. Again, like on the Ampeg VH140c, we have a shape control instead of the ultra mids, but it does the same thing, essentially controls the mids and shifts them from between super scooped to this is where I have it. It's where I kind of like it with some mid-range. We have really similar things going on between this amplifier and the VH140c, but I just feel like this amplifier, it's a little bit obvious that it doesn't have quite the same output that the VH140c has. This amplifier does 130 watts stereo, that's 65 watts per channel. The VH140c does 140 watts stereo, which is 70 per channel, and I just feel like that 5 watts just, it feels very noticeable. You know what, this one's actually really loud too. I gotta put my earplugs back in. This is not part of the ad, I promise. Oh shit. I want to constantly have to ask people what every time they talk to me. It's annoying. But you can tell just by the volume and the levels we're hitting and just my subjective opinion in the room, it's not as loud. It doesn't have the same push that the VH140c has. The saturation too, it's a little bit less saturation than the VH140c. Okay, so now that we've had that refresher on these amplifiers, let's shoot them out in a mix. For this mix, I'm reamping the same performance through each one of these amplifiers using the same cabinet and microphones. So the only variable is the amplifier itself. Let's get to the chugs. Alright, so which one of these amplifiers takes the Chug trophy in your opinion? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. In my opinion, for this genre, I really prefer the Ampeg VH140c. I think it's just got a meanness to it and just like a snarl that the other amplifiers don't have, but I think they all sort of fit in the same ballpark and I think they're all totally usable, but if I had to pick one, it's gonna be the Ampeg VH140c. All right, shout out to Eargasm Earplugs for sponsoring this video. Remember to use my link in the description below to save yourself 10%. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.